regarding recording of members present and absent.
Kane,
Oh, here.
McDermott,
Here.
Parker,
Here.
Slater, and Hanson's absent.
Open meeting compliance statement read.
I, the undersigned clerk of the Board of Education of the Alva Independent School District, number 1 of Woods County, Oklahoma, certify that prior to December 15th of the last calendar year, the date, time, and place of this regular meeting was filed in the office of the county clerk of Woods County, Oklahoma. I certify that at least 24 hours prior to this meeting, excluding Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, notice of the date, time, place, and agenda of this meeting was posted in prominent public view at the location of the meeting.
Consent agenda. All the following items, which concern reports and items of routine nature, normally approved by one board vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and approval of the following. Addition of items of new business to the agenda.
There are none.
Minutes of the December 7th, 2020 regular meeting. Approval of the finance report. Approval of the activity fund report. Approval of the activity fund fundraisers. Approval of the activity fund inter-account transfers. And approval of the child nutrition report.
Okay, we'll go back to 3.2, our minutes from the December 7th, 2020 meeting, and I did not see any errors with those minutes. Our finance report, we'll start with our investments, the middle attachment. All of our investments are current and up to date. Through our investment with, and Mr. Manning controlling those funds and investing those for us. We look at the top attachment. This is a different one I just wanted to present to you all tonight as a board, just to kind of show you what we're doing each month to begin to track the finances. And so that top attachment, that is all our revenue that we're collecting at this point. And if you look at the far right column, and that's pretty hard to see, so I'll refer to your attachment and make it a little bit bigger. This is just showing us as we're 6 months in to our school year and our collection, where we're at compared to our estimated needs. And so you can see in our current ad valorem, we're 42%, interest earning 32%. Obviously, we can see our collections are lower at the midpoint than what they were and what they need to be for our estimated needs. Gross production, we've collected 21% of our estimated needs. Motor vehicle tax, 43%, and so on. And so we continue to watch these things. It got cut off here, or it's on the next page, so let me see if I can move that over somehow. You look at the next page, then it has our total collections, and we're at 64%. So the reason why you see some of our local collections are lower, but then you look at our overall collection rate, and we're actually in good shape. And part of that is through our CARES funding. Part of that is through our federal funding that we've been able to be reimbursed for our purchases. Okay, we'll look at that third attachment is the normal presentation that I give you, and that's just our comparison of our chargeables each month. Obviously, we know that from a trend perspective that our gross production has been down. You can see that our REA tax and land earnings are up. I will tell you that our collection received for January is higher than it's been in past months in gross production. So that was kind of good news to receive that today, as it's been a little bit better collection. Just a comparison again of revenue and expenses through that next graph for FY21 and FY20. You can see that really from an expense standpoint, the staff and administrators are doing a fantastic job of keeping those expenses low, and as we continue to see our revenue drop. So are there any questions that you might have about the finance report? Okay, our activity fund reports. Hasn't been much activity in those accounts. One of the things that we've seen through our limiting of seats for our basketball gate and for our concerts and for our student programs is a reduction in the amount of money that those programs are taking in. And then what we see from those is a reduction of the disbursement we're gonna have to those other programs that take that. And so, you know, that's something that we really have to be mindful of as we move forward into the next fiscal year. And so we're not seeing the accounts change in expenditures or collections in those activity accounts. We don't have any activity fundraisers this month or any inter-account transfers. 3.7 child nutrition report. Hopefully that pulls up here. So what I did with this is once again wanted to just kind of show you our numbers as far as how many students are eating. And then I also wanted to point out to you at the bottom of this, you can see that there has been a rate adjustment by the federal government, and we're going to see an increase in that reimbursement rate for this fiscal year, which is a great thing. We sent out a notice this week to remind everybody that breakfast and lunch are still free for all students, and so we encourage everyone to take advantage of that opportunity this year. And then I wanted to also, at the very end of that, each month when I track our revenue and our collection, just want to point out to you 4710 and 4720. And you can see when you compare what we collected compared to the estimate of needs for the year, we're at 78% and 68% already 6 months in. And so that's a really good thing. Those reimbursement rates have really helped our district and helped our child nutrition fund. And so, again, I think that's just a real positive for the district at this point. Are there any questions about the consent agenda? If there are none, I would recommend its approval.
Any motion?
I move that we approve the consent agenda, those items referenced in 3.2 through 3.7.
Second.
McDermott,
Aye.
Parker,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Slater.
Yes.
Item number 4, vote to approve purchase order encumbrances for the following funds for fiscal year '21. 4.1 general fund as referenced, 4.2 building fund as referenced, and 4.3 child nutrition fund as referenced.
So we'll begin with the building fund, just to point out a couple of these purchase orders. Number 300 from Pittsco for $7,990. Those are materials that we purchased for our aeronautics class, and those are reimbursable through a federal grant that we will be reimbursed for. If you look at purchase order number 302, Amplified IT for $2,990. Part of what we're doing at this point, and I really have to thank Mr. Gordy and our principals, is as we move towards becoming more efficient with our technology use, is we want to encourage our teachers to begin to print, and students to print in our copiers and not use our colored printers and that sort of thing. And so this software will allow us to do that. Purchase order number 303, Family Zone for $4,900. That is an off-site content filtering. What that does, that allows our counselors and our administrators to track the content that students are searching. And so that is a good purchase. Point out 310, band shop for $1,100. Mr. Stewart came to me with this, and we felt like this was a really good mitigation strategy for our band students. And so we purchased bell covers for those instruments. Helps mitigate COVID when they're in that room and able to practice and play, especially as we've moved in. When it's colder out, they're unable to go outside like they were previously. Purchase order number 312. This is going to be purchased through our CARES money, and these are water filling stations to fill water bottles instead of using our water fountains. We're going to slowly try to move away from those from a cleanliness perspective, and so that is a change and a purchase that we've made there. And then 314, 2065, that is some repairs to our activity funds. The general fund payroll expenses, there are some vocational rehab students that are paid. We have substitute payments, and then we have the payment through the rest of the year for Riley Beal. We look at 4.2, our building fund. Purchase orders number 36 through 38 are plumbing repairs that we've had in our restrooms at various buildings. Purchase order number 39, we had a HVAC unit go out at the middle school that needed to be replaced. We repaired it before prior, and it needed replacement. And then purchase order number 40 will be the installation of those water filling machines at Lincoln in the middle school. 4.3, our child nutrition fund. I believe we just have one purchase order out of that. And that is the washing machine we have back on the loading dock area at the AMS kitchen. That had to be, could not be repaired, and we had to replace it. Are there any questions about our 4.1 general fund, 4.2 our building fund, 4.3 child nutrition fund?
I'm just curious on building fund 4.2, item 40, the installation of the water bottle filling stations. Well, I think it's wonderful. How many is that, like 3, 4?
So there'll be 3 at Lincoln and 3 at the middle school.
I was just curious. And they kind of in a common area, so easily accessible
Yes,
as many as we can get to.
they'll replace
What?
they'll replace the water fountains
Sure.
that we go up and use.
Yeah, they're perfect. Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Don't they have both, like aren't they a water fountain and
Some
a bottler?
Yes. We've really tried to encourage, we really want to move towards the water bottle filling stations just from a cleanliness
Sure.
perspective.
A lot of schools have put coverings over the mouth, the old-fashioned water fountain, just because, it's just harder to maintain and keep sanitary. So they just literally put like a baggie over it with the zip tie and said, please don't use. So, thank you. I would move that we accept 4.1, 4.2, 4.3 as presented with explanations.
Second.
Slater?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
McDermott?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Superintendent's report, 5.1.
Okay, we have a couple of resignations to present to the board tonight. Richard Anderson, our custodian at Lincoln Elementary, longtime employee, and has done a fantastic job. He will be retiring effective June 1st. And so we really appreciate Mr. Anderson and all the work that he has done for us. And then I also present to the board Coach Mike Sklar's resignation from track and football. Really appreciate Mike's contribution to both of those programs these last few years, and wish him the best. Communication, just want to go over a couple of things with the board at this point. First of all, it's School Board Recognition Month, and just want to thank you all for the job that you do for our students and our community. It's been a difficult year with COVID-19 and the challenges that we've all faced together. We certainly wouldn't be able to accomplish what we've accomplished as a district without a school board that is 100% behind our students and our staff, and also very attentive to our community's needs. And so just want to thank you all and present you all with certificates following the meeting. We just, again, want to thank you for your support of Alva Public Schools. Give you a quick update on our art room. As you came up this evening, you noticed the fencing around the art room. They have been working on demolition inside. It looks like a completely different art room already. It's really exciting. Tonight there will be a variance committee meeting, and once we receive that approval, then we'll see more construction and more interior work completed. So that process is going well. I've been up there numerous times and received a daily report from Kyler Construction. And so the communication has been well, and we look forward to that progress with the art room. And lastly, I want to just mention, there's been some media and news talk about CARES 2 money. And so we believe that in the next few weeks, we will be receiving some federal stimulus money. That money will be allocated through the Title I funding formula. And so we anticipate that we will have a good allocation from the federal government. But with that allocation, it will require a plan and have to be spent in a certain way. And so we'll be meeting as administrators and looking at the different criteria for funding. Of course, working for Mrs. Owen, working with Mrs. Owen, maybe working for her too. She does a fantastic job. And I can't tell you enough about the job she does. When you receive the federal money that we've received, and then you have to collect that money and also complete those reports and also ensure that that money is spent correctly, you have to have somebody that is really good, and Ms. Owen is really good at her job, and we're very fortunate to have her in our district.
Thank you, Mrs. Owen.
So we will bring to you more information as we get it, but I think it's exciting because I think it'll allow us to continue to make some improvements to our facilities and to our instruction that we might not otherwise been able to do at this point in time. That is all I have.
Item current business, 6.1, discussion with possible board action, vote to approve the revised extra duty assignments for fiscal year 21.
So we bring this extra duty assignment schedule back to you to make a note of the resignation of Coach Sklar as our football and track coach. I will be meeting with Mr. Smith when he returns, and we will be naming an interim coach for track, and we'll be bringing that to you. Our plan is to bring that to you in February to bring this assignment schedule back at that point in time.
6.2.
We need to vote on
We need
it.
a motion, sorry.
Make a motion, we approve the revised extra duty assignments as referenced.
Second.
Parker,
Yes.
McDermott,
Aye.
Kane,
Yes.
Slater.
Yes.
6.2, discussion with possible board action, vote to approve the all-school district calendar for school year 21-22.
We kind of got a late start on this year, and I want to thank the following people. We got together with our parents and teachers, and we had 2 different Google Meets to discuss some different options for calendars, to get some feedback on what our parents and our teachers liked about our calendar, would like for us to consider. And then we formulated 3 different calendars and sent those out to staff. And so I want to thank Kelly Eisenbart, Kendra Schnabel, Katie Williard, Chelsea Shipley, and Ashley Sneary. They were all parent representatives and gave me some great feedback and things to think about. And also need to thank our teachers, Tabitha Carruthers, Sherry Benson, Cecily Franz, Kelly Woods, and Chris Eckhart. And so I came up with 3 different calendars and visited with these committees about those and with our administrators and have folks double check me and check me and give me some suggestions. And from all that, our staff voted on the first day back from professional development. It took about 3 days to vote on those. And this calendar is the one that I would bring to the board. The beginning of school is August 12th, and our last day of school is May 18th. Just a couple of notes for your attention. It's 172 days, which is what we've done for at least the past 7 years, with 8 professional development days for a total of 180 contracted days, which aligns with our AEA contract. If there are no questions about our calendar, I would recommend to the board that we approve the school calendar for 21-22.
Make the motion that we approve.
Second.
Slater,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Kane.
Yes.
I want to thank all those that served on that. That's quite an undertaking, and it turned into a really nice way to do it. I appreciate that implementation on your part.
We get lots of fresh eyes that see things sometimes we don't see as educators, so, yeah,
Some good buy-in.
that's great.
It's good. And a much improved process. Any new business?
No, ma'am.
A proposed executive session to discuss the evaluation and employment of Tim Argo, superintendent, for 25 Oklahoma State Section 307B1.
So moved.
Second.
Slater,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Yes.
Kane.
Yes.